everybody. Mrs. Liam Graven and my helper Andy here. So today we're going to talk to you about something really important. Today what we're going to talk to you about is worries. And worry is something that all of us go through. It's that uneasy feeling inside that maybe you might be feeling a little bit uncomfortable or worry that something bad might happen. So we all experience worry from time to time, and some of us might be having a lot of worry right now because of everything that's going on in the world.
Like the virus.
Oh, like the virus, that's right.
Yeah.
So the reason that we want to talk about this week is because Mr. Conway put out a challenge to everyone, right?
Yeah.
He wanted everybody to do something to face their fears, right? Because that makes us stronger, like Sensei says. When we face our fears, it makes us stronger. But something that can get in the way of us facing our fears is having too much worry. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to control that worry. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys an example. So the thoughts that we tell ourselves can sometimes make the worry worse. So I'm going to give you guys an example. So I really wanted to try the challenge that Mr. Conway gave everybody a couple days ago. The challenge was to get up in a handstand and take a sweatshirt off. So I started telling myself in my mind, gosh, I really want to do that challenge, but that's when my worry monster crept in. So here's what happened. I started saying to myself, Miss Leslie, you haven't done a handstand in 10 years.
The worry monster is getting bigger because that worry monster is telling her she can't do it because she hasn't done it in a really long time.
Right. And then I'm saying, Miss Leslie, you try to do a handstand and you're going to end up in the emergency room.
And she can also say, like, oh my goodness, what if I break my head open?
Oh, that is something that I said to myself. What if I break my head open? Or I said, or my arms aren't very strong.
And I have one more thing. What if my kids don't like me because my head's break open?
That's true. We don't want to break open our heads, especially right now.
I would be really scared.
Okay. So, see how big my worry monster is? Now, this worry monster is going to go everywhere I go with me, and it's going to stop me from facing my fears and stop me from making a big, strong courage muscle. So, here's the trick, boys and girls. Here's how I shrink my worry monster. What I start to do is I talk back to that worry monster. So, I'm going to say, Miss Leslie, you're strong. You work out. You can do this. Oh. It's getting smaller. I could say, Miss Leslie, you won't go to the emergency room. You might be a little sore, but you'll be okay. Look at that. I shrunk that worry monster right down, right? That is how powerful our thoughts are. Okay, so my helper, Andy, now. Have a seat, Andy, or you can sit here. So our helper is going to share a fear or a worry that I hear a lot of kids have, okay? And we're going to practice shrinking her worry monster. All right, Andy, so what is your fear?
One of my fears is the dark, but I'm going to use the dark today because I'm kind of scared of that one.
All right, Andy, so what are some thoughts that you tell yourself about the dark that makes your worry monster get big?
Oh my goodness, my parents are super far away. Oh my goodness. Oh, where's my brother and sister?
Talk clear, honey.
My brother and sister are gone. Too scared. Oh my goodness. I'm starting to cry.
All right, Andy. That's a pretty big worry monster. Now, if you wanted to shrink that worry monster, what are some things that you could say?
Well, I do have some stuffies by my side, so I'd say, hey, I have some stuffies with me. So I think maybe you can calm me down.
Using stuffies to calm herself down, yeah.
And the second thought is, my parents are actually in the next room. They actually are. I am fine now.
Look at that! She shrunk her worry monster! All right, so now that we know how powerful our thoughts are in building up that courage muscle, now I want you guys to think about what could you do if you try your very hardest to shrink your worry monster and it still doesn't shrink. What could you do, Andy?
Well, one thing you could do is tell your parents. That's just what I do because it's really easier.
Right. Talking to somebody about what your worries are also can help shrink the worry monster.
We have this good book that is called Ruby Finds a Worry, and we're not going to read it today because it has a lot of...
So this book is kind of about some of the things that we talked about today. So Ruby Finds a Worry for moms and dads. That's a great book. All right, let's see. All right, so before we leave you today, what we would like you to do, there's two things we want you to do. The first one is use these new skills we just taught you about crushing your worry monster to challenge yourself, to build up your courage muscle like Mr. Conway talked about. The second thing that you're going to do is draw a picture of what your worry monster looks like. Now, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all what your worry monster looks like. So here's an example of what my worry monster looks like. Hold on. You can kind of see it kind of looks like a tornado, and it's kind of crazy. And I've got the virus up there. Andy seems to think it looks like a ladybug. I think it looks like the virus. So draw a picture. Andy's going to show hers.
So this is the virus because I'm scared of the virus. And second, that says King of Evil and King of Worry Monster and it doesn't look pretty scary like red eyes.
Yeah, so that's Andy's worry monster. Okay, come on back up.
That's just a picture I think mine looks like.
All right, so then you're going to have your mom or dad or big person, after you've drawn your worry monster, you're going to post a picture underneath this video so we can see what everyone's worry monsters look like. And then what you're going to do is you're going to crumple up that worry monster and you're going to throw it away.
And here's a trash can right there we have. Oh, it doesn't work though.
All right. So you have two challenges. First, draw a picture of your worry monster, post it, and then crumple it up. The second is to stretch that courage muscle and challenge yourself using some of these worry monster strategies we just talked about. All right, everybody, are you ready?
Bye.
All right, goodbye.